This video is going to show how to add fixed shelves to a cabinet. There are two types, one for multiple fixed shelves and then another for an automatic fixed shelf for, say, a tall cabinet. So the multiple fixed shelves would be used if you have, say, an open shelf cabinet or a cabinet that we want to just have fixed shelves rather than adjustable, and we have a way of aligning them or placing them exactly where we'd like to have them to be able to line up with a mullion door, or if we just need to have different spacings there. So we're first going to take a look at adding them to a wall cabinet. So going into Tools, Settings, with the cabinet type selected, I have unchecked shelf holes, and I'm also going to uncheck the shelves because we do not want to have adjustable shelves. And I've added a checkbox here for fixed shelves. Coming over to the fixed shelf button allows us to modify the settings for a fixed shelf. So for example, if we want to have dados with it, we could specify the width of the dado and the depth of the dado. If we had a blind dado, we could stop that from going all the way out to the dado going all the way out to the side. So once that has been saved, we have that use feature checked. We're going to hit save. We will close the settings. Now we could select our wall cabinet from the cabinet type list and notice that the shelves, holes, and cut shelves are unchecked and the fixed shelves are checked. And we now have an extra set of boxes off to the right. So when we uncheck fixed shelves, we see that go away. So again, we do have fixed shelves checked by default for a wall cabinet. And currently, it is telling us that we're going to have a total of 2 fixed shelves. We could change that by entering in a new quantity, say if we want to have 3 of them. And notice that we've opened up 3 more text boxes to specify the location and the heights of each one of those fixed shelves. So currently, it is just dividing the height by the quantity to give us 3 equal shelf spacings, or if we had 2, it's just giving us 2 equal shelf spacings for that 30-inch high cabinet. So if we calculate or add this to the list, then calculate nest to view the layout or the drawing of the fixed shelves, we now see we have the 2 dados and fixed shelves added to the cabinet. So the dado and the location of this dado is all based on the back dado. Even if we do not have the back dados checked to be used, the depth of that shelf and the depth of where that dado for that shelf is going to be comes from the settings for the blind dados. So for example, we're going to close the nesting, file, going to go new, and I'm going to go back into the tools settings. For the wall cabinet, I am going to uncheck the back dados. But we'll then go into the back dado setting and give an inset of 2-inch. It is exaggerated just to show and so we could see the visual on the nesting and the layout. Once that is done, we can see that back dado has left that part. I'm going to close the settings, entering in the cabinet size, calculating a nest. We should see the fixed shelves be much narrower and the dado not going farther back. And that is because that is still assuming, even though we're not using the dado and the back sizing is sized without the dado and that back is going to be made to be the correct size, it is assuming that is where we're going to be placing the back cabinet when we assemble the cabinet to have those fixed shelves still fit within the space that we're allowing. adding a fixed shelf to a tall cabinet with doors on top, doors on the bottom, we might want to have a automatic fixed shelf placed where the two sets of doors are. So the top doors will close onto the bottom of the fixed shelf, and the bottom doors will close on the top of that fixed shelf. So to set that, we're going to go to Tools, Settings, selecting a tall unit from our cabinet type list. For this particular cabinet, I am going to leave the shelf holes checked and cutting shelves because I do want to have adjustable shelving. I'm going to add the fixed shelves checkbox as well. I'm going to take a look at the settings for that fixed shelf. And we see that we have the dado set for a 3/4 width and a 3/8 depth. One other location that we need to go, even though we may not have the add doors checked to include the doors. As we see, we're not using this feature, but it is going to get its location for that fixed shelf based on the height of the upper door. So in this case, we have the height of the upper door set to 30. We're going to close the settings. I'm going to select a tall unit. Going to set the quantity of our fixed shelves to 0. Entering in a height of 84. Add that to our list and calculate nest. So notice that we have one dado, still have all of our adjustable shelving. There is the shelving, and here is the one fixed shelf. So even though we had the quantity set to 0, since we've had the fixed shelf set and had an upper door set to anything above 0, we'll add in an automatic fixed shelf at the location of the height of the top doors or the upper doors. So in this case, we set the value to be 30. The distance from the top of the cabinet to the top of the fixed shelf there is going to be right at 30 inches. Hopefully this helps clear up some confusion on how to add fixed shelves.